I take it you love your job.
I do. Yeah, I do like my job.
We are here for episode number 50 of Hoops and Brews with Bjorn Erickson at Hoops Brewery, who is going to take us on a tour.
Come along.
Cheers.
So in the front of our space is the beer hall and our West Beer Hall. So this is kind of one of the reasons why we're here. The space to create a very communal gathering space for people to come.
Can you tell us a little about the columns here? They're unique
They are
to this place.
very large Douglas fir columns. They were harvested in the early 1800s in Washington or Oregon.
Okay.
Somewhere up in the Pacific Northwest.
Right, and I believe they're extremely old to get that big.
Yeah, they're very old growth timbers, and they were this big 200 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's an amazing feature of this place. I really
Yeah,
like
it definitely adds some significance to the space.
Moving into the brewery.
So this is our tiny brewery. Behind you is the grain mill and the grist case. We have most of our grain storage downstairs.
So there's a basement to this place.
There's a basement to the whole building.
Okay.
We use some of that space for some dry grain storage. Let's go right up on the brew deck, and I'll show you what we've got going on here. This is the brew deck. We've got a 3-vessel, 15-barrel brewing system from Sprinkman. They're out of Wisconsin, so they're kind of our neighbors. Made a beautiful brew house out of American steel, and this is a pretty slick Cadillac. It's not the fanciest, but it is very well built, and it makes really good wort in an efficient way. So it's easy to make good beer in this. So I'm very, very happy to get to work with such great equipment.
So what is this right here?
This is our mash and lauter tun. So we add our crushed grain, grist spill, and hot water in here. We get it up to temp. We let that mash conversion happen. Change all the starches and the sugars for the yeast.
Okay.
So that all happens here, along with the separation. So we'll drain that liquid off during our lauter and our sparge. We transfer our wort to the brew kettle. So this is our brew kettle. Let's just boil 500 or 600 gallons of wort. It's not very shiny right now. This is where we boil our wort for 90 minutes. We add our hops in here, and after we're done boiling, transfer it to our whirlpool, which is kind of a nice fancy separator. Lets us separate most of the trub from our wort, and then from the whirlpool, we'll transfer that wort into a fermenter.
Okay. And you said it gets quite warm in here.
It does. I mean,
You're working.
We have heating and ventilation, but still, I mean, working with a lot of hot water, a lot of water at 180 degrees, and it gets steamy, it gets hot.
What is this?
This is our mash paddle. We don't use it a lot because we have automatic rakes and stirrers in the mash tun, but it does help to break up some chunks and make sure that everything's stirred. And sometimes you just gotta poke it with the stick. make sure it's right, so that sticks good for that.
Okay.
Yeah, this is made by our friends over at Epic Brewery. This is the whole other half of the brewery. This is one big room here. So we've got the brew house on the side, and then on this other side, we've got 5 15-barrel fermenters that we keep full. And we brew about once or twice a week. And then...
And how does it work with the multiple beers that you're brewing? Does each of these have to be a different beer going, or how does that work?
Well, we'll cycle through. So we'll... this fermenter's got pale ale in it.
Okay.
And it's fermented, it's been dry hopped, it's ready to transfer into the bright tank.
Okay.
So next week we'll empty a bright tank, move that beer from the fermenter, and then we'll fill that up with whatever we're needing to brew that. We try to work backwards from what we need. So we'll be brewing hopefully what we need in 3 or 4 weeks time.
Okay.
The way it really works is that each week we decide which of our perennials we need to have. We're the lowest on, what's the highest priority.
Right.
And then we also just trickle in some of these seasonal beers.
Okay.
Where we've got one with the deadline. Cherry ale always comes out at a certain date. We've got a couple beers that are tied to people's birthdays. So we'll...
Really? What would that be?
Well, Dave has 2 kids, Finn and Daisy. They each have their own beer. So we'll make that in.
What are your beers?
Daisy's is a nice kind of malty pale ale, definitely on the Dane side. Finn's Finest, also hoppy but kind of lighter colored pale ale.
And is this based on what his kids like? I mean, I don't know how
No, because
they are.
he's been making them for 20-some years.
Okay.
Right, so more of an honorific.
Okay.
It wasn't based on what they liked when they were born.
That's good to know.
Yeah. But tiny brewery, 5 fermenters. We've got, this is that strawberry Hefeweizen I was mentioning. It's fermenting away. It's a good action shot.
What is going on here?
Well, we've got a very active fermentation. The yeast is fermenting away. It's creating a lot of CO2, a lot of alcohol, and some of that excess krausen, so beer, yeast, protein, kind of bubbles out, so you get some nice foam in that bucket. But that bucket's just an airlock to let extra CO2 escape, not let anything else back in.
So we're not going to be drinking that?
You will not be drinking that.
Okay.
And as soon as it's done aggressively, putting off gassing, getting off pressure, we'll close it up and start to build up some natural carbonation.
Okay.
I'll show you the second third of our brewery.
Watch your step here. These are 2 bright tanks. So after the time in the fermenter, after the beer's already cold, we've dumped most of the yeast off. It's transferred into one of these bright tanks where it continues to settle, and eventually it's able to package the beer off of also, and carbonate it in these tanks. So.
Does it carbonate itself, or do you artificially carbonate it? Or?
Both. So because we've started bunging up our fermenters or spooning them and trapping some of that natural carbonation, when we transfer it over, it will probably have at least 2 volumes of CO2 in it. So we'll carbonate it up to 2.5, 2.7 as we measure it, and that seems to work well for our system, our tap trap system. And that gives us the flavor profile for that carbonation level. Managing that process in the fermenter is delicate.
because you're dealing with a living thing, and that yeast does not like to live under a lot of pressure, right? So you've got to trap some of that CO2, but also let that yeast breathe and not be under atmosphere pressure. So we kind of balance the yeast needs with our conveniences, but we always top up with carbonation to make sure that it's where it needs to be.
Very nice.
Inside this room is this is our serving cooler, so all the beers behind the bar.
So is this where all the beer comes from when we serve it?
Yep, all the beer. So we've got 30 tap lines.
Oh, wow.
We keep most of them full most of the time. One we just use for some sour beers. One we just use for infusions or fruit. We've got one that we save for root beer or sodas, but we typically keep 20 plus beers on tap. If you continue to watch our stuff, we'll continue our loop through the brewery. And there's not much else to see. We're a pretty small operation, so we've got like our dirty keg storage here. This is our keg washer and filler. This is our only loading dock and garbage area. So everything, all of our spec grain goes in and out that door. It's organized. I don't want to say it's organized chaos because we really, it's not too chaotic. So we're just brewing beer, brewing interesting beers that we want,
Right.
and doing our best job.
You know, I love this. Like I said, I'm not a beer drinker, but I have learned so much from doing books and brews, and it's given me such a new appreciation. And I love that you love your job. Cheers.
I have a glass.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming.